All right, on the bench today out of a 2000 Audi A8 Quattro with a 4.2, we have the ZF5HP24A, or as Audi would designate it, 01L. And this has 145,000 miles on it, and this has the common problem that the ZF5HP24s have, which is slipping on the pull-away. So once we get it open, we'll see if we're dealing with the cracked A-drum, a torn O-ring on the A-drum, something to cause it to slip on the pull-away, and reverse is perfect. So we're going to get into the teardown. We'll start with the diff, and we'll take the axle out, whatever's in the front here, then we'll go to the back section, take that out, and then we'll get into the teardown of the transmission. So I had this on the bench. You know, what I like to do before I actually film the teardown is I like to crack all the bolts loose, because this really has a lot of rust on it. Even the pan is very, very rusty. I actually just received a new pan, brand new OE pan from Ericsson's, because I have to change it because it's really bad. So I like to crack all the bolts loose just to make sure the teardown will go smooth. So all that is done already, and I'll get a little closer and we will get into the teardown. All right, so we're going to start taking the axle out, the diff cover out, then we'll spin it around, get the speed sensor out and the axle. We'll do the front, and then we'll get the all-wheel drive section back there. So we got here a T40. This actually came loose. Sometimes these are a little tight, and I put a couple of bolts in here, hold it with a screwdriver and try to crack it loose, but actually this came out fairly easy. Okay, so there is your flange. All right, now these are all torque 40s. Pretty sure this diff is full. And when you get ready to fill the diff, you fill it right through here. I forgot to do that one. Okay, no problem. This one? This one, okay. All right, and then this cover will come down. Like I said, I don't believe anything was drained. I did have the pan down because these pan bolts, getting all new pan bolts, they're all rusted, and it really took me a while just to get the pan bolts out, but I got them all out, so I'm going to be getting new bolts to go with the new pan. Okay, so let's just kind of move this back here. Really sure from where until nothing was drained. There were no leaks here. But, okay, we'll pull the tip out. Okay, so this seal will be changed here. Of course, this seal. I have an OE banner kit. All right, so we're going to put this in here, move this aside. All right, now let's swing this around. Okay, so the speed sensor gets locked in here, so I push down very carefully because it can break, and then you turn it. It should come right out. Okay, that is the speed sensor. It is available, you know, because sometimes this gets very, very brittle and you really can't help it, and it happens. All right, now we're going to take the neutral switch out. this here. And then there are 27s. Okay. Should slide out. Might be stuck on a bit of a dowel or something here. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of dowel, a little rusted dowel right there that the switch was stuck on, but we got it. Side. All right, now we're going to take these 3 out and slide the whole assembly out, the axle. Those are also 1240. Out, just give it a little push. Okay. There we go. We got a seal here. There's a seal in here also. Sometimes these things are not so easy to get out. There's a snap ring. Slide this out, change the seal, put it back on. Okay, so that is this. Put this aside. Sometimes I send that also out. If I'm having trouble getting it apart to change the seal, I send that out also to Ericsson's to separate it for me. All right, now there is a tube. Where's my light? Okay, we got to get a little snap ring out, not the tube out. All right, let's see how easy. There's a little area here that usually you can get under, but the end of the snap ring is not there. So I'm going to try to move it from there. Okay, 1 second. Okay, it's got to get behind it. That's it. Okay, now we're just gonna pop this out, spin this. Pop it out here. Pull that out. There is an O-ring there to be changed. Now when we take the pump bolts out, you know, we got the 2 little seals here we got to knock in to get the pump bolts out. So we'll be able to get them out through here. All right. Big trans. Okay. All right, so now we're going to take the back section off here, starting with the flange. The seal, of course, I've done a few of these seals. They like to leak. Now, first what we want to do is we want to get the output speed sensor out. Right here, so let's get that out. Also, the two vents on here, or the two vent covers I should say, are plastic. So I'm going to be flipping this trans around. I didn't want to break them. So this is them. I got them out. But if you do by chance break them, Ericsson's does sell them separately. Okay. All right, so we're going to take the first section off here. There's like a viscous clutch back here, but let's get the flange out. It's also a torque 40. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take this plate off to get access to these other bolts here. The rear seal, and we got another seal here that we're going to change. All right, now let's get the 40s out here first. I'm going to probably need a little bit of an extension. Couldn't get to that. And here's the long bolts. Just this one here. Let's see if this one will come out. Yep. Okay. These are also on dowels here, so let's see how easy that's going to come apart. All right. Okay. Let's see how easy this will come apart. Maybe have to separate that first. It's definitely, all the bolts are out. It's just being held on by the dowels. Sometimes they give you an area. Give it a little push. So it's just about out. This dowel, really stuck on this dowel. The bottom is okay, just the top. Okay. Make sure we clean this up. Good. Here is this section. This will out, but I'm just going to leave it in here for now. Okay. Now we got a magnet here, and we got a double seal here that's going to be changed. The weep hole is there. And this is one of the seals. This cover I send out to Ericsson's because that seal has to be perfect. They have they made a tool, so when the seal goes in so far, you know, I guess the tool stops or bottoms out, it can't go any further. But it's very important that that go in, and it's got to be perfect, the depth. All right, so let's get, see how easy this cover is going to come off. And also the gear, I got to send that also for a seal. I'm going to clean all those dowels up. Okay, so let's see how easy. Okay, so we're going to take the cover off. Okay, so again, here's that seal, very important. That comes in the kit that I have, and here's the magnet. And I'm going to send it out and have it, have them do it as well as this gear right here. So let's slide the middle one out, put it here. This here is a bolt all the way there. We'll get that out. We're going to slide this out. Okay. And there is a seal in here. Here's a bearing race. There's a seal in here that's got to go in through this way. And again, very, very important on the depth of this, all right? And also, you got to be extremely careful when you install it back on here. You can tear the seal. So what I do is take like the finger of a glove, or a rubber glove, and I stretch it across and lube it all up with STP and grease and just very carefully slide that seal in. So this gear is going to get sent out along with that cover. Okay, so let's get the bearing out. Here, we have the F-clutch drum bolts, and there's two here. And I usually can get them out without removing the bearing, because if you remove this bearing, usually sometimes you could break it. But I could probably get in there with the tool that I have. All right, give me 1 second here. Okay. And we got 17 bolts. See how easy. This is gonna, okay, getting that nice and easy. All right, so we'll pull this out. Okay, there's the 17 bolt. And sometimes there may be a shim, and we want to be very careful and not to lose. So let's see if there is anything on there. There is. Okay, here's the shim. Okay, so we want to put that aside. Now let's just make sure there's nothing else. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. All right, so now we're going to swing it around and get the pump bolts out. We're going to take these out, which I have loose, then we'll knock the seals through and get those two out. Those are 27s. Now I'm going to knock these two seals through. Okay. Metal clay seal. Let's see if we can just fish them out. Okay, there you go. They come in the overhaul kit, also sold separately, just in case. All right, so we got two more in there. So that, have a little setup like this, try to break these things loose. Shorty. There's also a washer on that as well. All right, now let's get the other one. Okay. Okay. All right, so we have all the pump bolts are out. Okay. Now we're going to flip this up. You'll see how bad the pan is. Here. All right, the race for the diff, it came out with a shim. Okay, so we will put that aside. Let me get rid of some of the soil here. You know what, give me just 2 seconds. Let me get organized. I want to get rid of some of this oil, and we'll continue. Okay, so you can see the pan, there's total rust. It took me a while to get all the bolts out, and once this is the fill over here, you know, once we start playing with that, the thing will just probably constantly leak. So that's why I ended up ordering a new pan. Okay. Here it is. New pan comes with magnets and everything, all the, you know, whole thing. Okay, all right, so we got the filter, also 27s. Alright, so what we're going to do now, I love these Audi gaskets, they come right off. I'm going to take the clip from here, push this through, and then we'll get the valve body off. So it's going to be 27s, but you have to choose, the heads are two different sizes to know which ones will come out. Okay, so I'm going to take the clip from here. Okay, nice. Push this through. All right, use this. This valve body off, and of course the lower front section is going to be, I like to replace it. What you can actually get from Ericsson's, I mean, you know, a lot of people use a transco valve, which is fine. I like to get a housing, and they do an oversized PR valve, and the thing is works really, really nice. Okay. Here. Corner. Sometimes you really got to look at these things to see which ones have to come out and which ones stay. Also, the length would tell you too, you know, so you can see that's long, so you can see it goes all the way through. Okay, let's get the little shorties out here. Top. Probably one more. The one from here. Okay. All right, it was this silver one I forgot about. I knew it was there, but I wasn't thinking about it. Okay. I'm going to lift this off. Here's your input speed sensor. So what we want to do See if we can slide the front of this out. Okay. All right, here's our pump. Alright, so this bearing, even though it's good, it always gets replaced because they're known to go bad. So let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here. Looks like we have a blown drum. Okay, you can see the inside here, scraped. And also bearing. That bearing goes there, okay. All right, so I'm going to take this other bearing off. Let's get the drum out. There you go. Snap ring is out. So we know we got a worn pressure regulator valve bore, because that is what causes this. Okay. C drum, let's get this out. All right, you also, I did a video on, you got to watch these bushings. Watch these bushings in here. Because if they are worn, this feeds the C drum, which is on in reverse. And if you have good reverse cold, and then when it's real hot, you lose reverse, chances are it's because those bushings are worn out. Let's see if I can. You know, right where the opening is where the opening of the snap ring is. And you can never get that out. So let's try something here. Pushing it, and we're gonna get it. Here we go. Okay. Right now, before we can slide that center support out, we got to take the two seals out. Let me bring this up a little bit. I'm going to take the two seals out. I'm going to take this feed tube out here. I have come across this feed tube on another Audi I did. It actually was cracked. You know, when you take the tubes out, we have like a vacuum gun so we can put my finger on one side and see if it holds vacuum. And it had, geez, I think it was like sliding on the 1-2 shift. And that was cracked. wasn't so easy to get. I think I had to get it from, I don't know if it came out of Germany. And even the guy that owned the car, I told him, you know, it's gonna may take me a little while to get, you know. So even he did some research. I got mine from Germany, he got his from Poland. And they actually both got here at the same time. Okay, let's get those out. Okay. Now, we have a special, where is it? Okay. I'm going to screw it down there a little more. See if we can get those seals out. One. I know I showed you this tool before. This actually is a bolt from a Honda, and it has thicker threads here and thinner ones here. Because this would go through the case, and then this would go for a mount, you know, and they put a nut on the end of it. So I found this, and it seems to work pretty good. Both out. It's a very, very big unit. All right, so let's get the center support out. Hopefully without too much trouble. Thing's got to be like totally straight. Sorry if I'm blocking the view here, but I gotta need two hands. Okay. Here we go. Center support. Line it set. And a sun gear. Rear planet. And the only thing left is the F drum. So I'm gonna stand this up. All right, so I'm gonna knock these loose the way I normally do. I have my shocker, so I'm just gonna do that, then we'll unscrew the bolts, and once everything is loose, and take the drum out. Then the unit will be torn down, and we can kind of just take a look at the clutches and finish it up. All right, so I will be right back. Okay, so I got all them, everything is loose. Now we're gonna take all of these out, and these we kind of gotta unscrew and hit the drum down as they're getting, you know, looser. So they'll only back out so far. A little tough to get in there, but this is what I used to get in there. I bought this whole set actually from Harbor Freight a couple of years ago, and that's been working very, very good. And these bolts also, you know, they're torque 40, so if the head of the bolt goes bad, they are sold. Erickson's does sell them also. Okay, so we're gonna back these out. Okay, and then we'll hit the drum down. Yeah. Almost out. Okay, that's it. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me get rid of the case. Case is stripped. I'll put it on the other bench. Get rid of the oil. Get a little organized here, and then we'll look at the clutch drums, pump, and I guess just finish it up. All right, so I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so let's take a look at these clutch drums. We'll open up the pump, and of course we'll start with the A clutch, which we know the drum is no good. Also, all right, so here's the skinny O-ring. All right, this is okay. Again, a lot of times that bearing that goes bad a lot. This one usually takes that out. Now I'm changing this bearing, even though this thing looks perfect. It's getting changed because these things always go bad. The race is in here, so you just got to get something in here and pop this race out, and you get the bearing as two pieces. So this is going to be changed 100%. I would never ever use that over again. So let's see if we can get these clutches out. Got a broken drum. Yeah, they are, of course, good. I'm sure from the drum blowing and the snap ring out, the O-rings on the piston are torn. Bad drum, also bad A clutch. A and C's are the same, by the way. Okay, we got a snap ring, also snap ring, different thicknesses there. All right, so that was the A. Let's take a look at the B. Okay, we had a washer there. And a lot of times when the drum blows, this isn't really that bad, you know, it just kind of cracked and the snap ring came out. A lot of times they get metal embedded on these, but you know, I do banner kits on everything anyway. All right, so these don't look too bad. Also, there is a wave. That is the B. Okay, the C drum. Bad. Okay, then we have our center support. So this is the D. One second. Okay. So again, the D clutch. Alright, now we got a sleeve in here that we're going to knock out. All right, so we've got a bit of bearing that goes here. So we got a sleeve that we got to knock out because we got to change the O-rings. Right there. All right, now we're going to take a look at the E-clutch. Okay. Not bad. This here. This here. Alright, now we got the F. Also, there's a bonded piston here. Only go OE with that. I know I told the story before of somebody that didn't. Number one, he brought the drum to me to install the piston because they didn't have the proper tools for the press to get the split ring out. And I says I wouldn't do this. The guy doesn't want to spend money, yada, yada, yada. I said, okay. And it didn't last a year. Lost reverse again. It's a big difference from the OE piston. Piston comes right out. 2 aftermarket one. This thing's shot. I'm surprised this thing went backwards. Wow. The reverse was good. Look, here's a broken piece here. Wow, I gotta have to get this. Probably new split ring. Normally they come right out. Never had a problem. This is actually the first time I've seen this. Okay, and also, you know, a lot of times on these ZFs, you know, these clutches, you know, they may look good, but they're worn. So you really should change these. You know, I mean, I always do Bannicus. I'm sure you guys would do the same when you're rebuilding, but a lot of times they may look good and you say, I'll put them back, but when you check the difference between the original ones and the new ones, there's a big difference in the clearance. So I'm going to open this thing because I'm going to have to get the new ring, a new return spring, and I was just curious to see how the piston is, because these pistons tend to debond and you'll also lose reverse. So let me just take this thing apart. Well, I got you guys here, and let's see what it looks like. So I'll be back in a minute, and then we'll look at the pump and then finish it up. Okay, so I got the split ring out, which I'm going to be replacing new. And the Belleville return spring we see is broken. Okay, and now let's take a look at the piston. That sucker's in there. Even get that out. Okay. All right, and here's the piston, which you can see. You can kind of see, you can see that here it's starting to come apart. I mean, I'm sure it may have something to do with maybe what happened, or it got stuck in there and something happened, but that's the reason why you got to change. You got to change this. This is starting to come apart. And this thing really seems so broken, but the drum feels okay. So, okay. So this thing wouldn't have lost drive, it would have lost reverse. Thing was definitely a time bomb. All right. Let's get the 27s out. Okay. Let's see, we'll take these out. Want to leave 2 in. so we can knock the body and gears down. Here. Okay, we're going to take this bearing race off here. Okay, very gently, so we can get this to move. Okay, I think she's out. Okay, now here, inside this pump, you can't take it out. Well, I guess you probably could, but it's not that easy to do. On the BMWs, it's got a big nut. You take it out, and it's the flow control valve, and you want to make sure that valve is totally free of dirt. Because if that valve sticks, that kills your line pressure and the car won't even move at all. So that's the flow control valve in there. You want to make sure that's good. Here is the pump. Let's take the dowel out. Pump plate. Okay, so we got the dots. When I put this back together, facing up. Pocket is good. Is good. All right. That's really about it. So this valve body here. So again, we got the input speed sensor here, and we're going to replace the lower front section of the valve body with an oversized PR valve. All right, we inspect this for cracks. There's not, so that is okay to use. And just, you know, very important with these covers. With this cover here, I'm going to send out the seal. So I have him knock it in, and I never had an issue. And also the gear. And once you put this back together, you got to be extremely, extremely careful, because those splines will tear the seal. And I was talking to somebody one time, and they were building one, and I said, don't change them yourself, because it may be a problem. They got to be absolutely perfect. Send them, and, you know, of course I mentioned Ericsson's, and you know, they will knock them in for the price of the seal. They'll knock them in and send them back to you. You know, the person elected to do it themselves. Unit went back in the car, then I got an email, you were right, it's leaking. You got to pull it back out, or they just maybe pulled the back apart and then but I don't know. You live and learn, I guess. So we got a 2000 Audi A8 ZF5HP24A or 01L slipping on a pullaway. Found a blown A drum, and that is due to a worn PR valve in the lower front section of the valve body. Also, if this thing would have lost forward, it would have lost reverse 100% eventually. So I got, you know what, let me put you guys on hold. Let me show you. I just got my pan and my banner kit right now. But let me just kind of show you that, and we'll finish it up. Be right back. All right, so here is my brand new pan from ZF. I think it was drop shipped directly to me from them. And that's the pan that I'm going to be using. Let me just back out a little bit. So that's that, brand new. Looks like they have a load of dust off of that one. And then I got my OE banner kit. Oh, it is open. Just shove everything back in here. So here is my OE banner kit with the chart for, you know, what goes where, and also my friction module OE here. So that's what I have so far. So still converter will be sent out. The drum, the F drum, split rings, you know, stuff. I got to get my list together. Some stuff I'll get from Transtar, some I'll get from Ericsson's, but I'm going to send him the covers. To cover the gear and probably the other piece to knock, to take it apart, so I can change that seal. And then when he ships it back to me, I'll have him send me the valve body, the bolts, and see whatever else I need. All right, so that is all for now. I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next one.